Good evening. This is manual meditation here. I'll just figure I'd go over one of the basic processes. What I'm going to do is install, pre-made coils. After a while, your coils get a little dingy. And instead of cleaning them, I'm just going to replace this. I really was impressed with the tidal wire, but I have to revisit it once I get some 0.5 ribbon in nichrome, because I want to do an all nichrome. Get the resistance where I want it for a single coil, my mech mod. But what I'm going to do now is just stop and pause it, go wash this up. I'm going to remove it. Actually, we'll just remove it. And this is on the Twisted Messes, the first original RDA. I'll loosen them up, and then I'll just grab this with a pair of pliers to get it out. Put in my slug box graveyard. So you see, it gets pretty cruddy. Alright, I'm gonna pause this and go wash it up and come back. Alright, so I'm back after washing this off under some nice warm water. This is the version 1. I'll have both air slots open for dual coil because I plan on putting dual coils in it. I think we're going to go with these Canthal zippers I made. So I guess the first thing you start with, I always install on the same size rod or whatever screwdriver you wrapped it on. That way it keeps these, especially the zippers, from spreading all over the place. Now one thing I do is, if you can see here how your wire comes down and loops over, I always put this side on the negative post on this Twisted Messes. That way you don't have to worry about running the wick over the wire. Just seems like a pain in the ass, but it's all personal reference. So we'll see how this turns out. Hopefully 5 wraps isn't too wide. Not used to having the camera in my field of vision, but we'll see how it goes. So basically what I'll do is I'll get it in and push it up against the positive post and tighten it down. Negative, I'll leave a little bit of lead on the other side. You can see how it's all crooked and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is put the screwdriver in this side. I'm going to lift up, and I'm going to try to push it over forcefully. Try to get it as centered as possible. What I'm going to have to do on this is loosen the negative side up. A little bit, so I can get it to come over. Now if I did 4 wraps instead of 5, this would be a lot easier. We'll try and see how that works out. I always like having them as centered as possible, but I don't think that's going to happen with 5 wraps. I'll cut my leads off. Especially the positive leads are the most important, because you don't want your coil on the other side touching them. Grab this other coil. I'm just going to put this in place for a second. I'm going to snip the positive leads down before I install it. before I tighten down the negative leads. I'm going to push this over some. There we go. So there they both are installed. Let's see what the resistance is. It's reading 0.16 on this 521 tab, which is usually off. Let's see how far it's off. We'll put it on the DNA 200 white out and get our reading. Reading at 0.9, which is what, 0.3 different than the 521 tab. So I don't really rely on this for reading, unfortunately. So I'll pause this for a minute.